Bum. Hey, 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 hey. What's up? It's Michael Yo. Thank you so much for watching the live stream. Thank you so much for subscribing to the podcast. I mean, it's blowing up. You guys are blowing it up. I appreciate all the love. And yes, I'm feeling much better. Thank you for all the love on that. Remember, subscribe to the podcast, give it 5 stars, leave a comment. That does so much for me. Now, here's how this show works. The podcast comes out on Tuesday, but a couple days before on Facebook Live, on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page, I have these people live on the show. So if you want to see videos of it, just go to my Facebook page and you can see all the videos of my interviews or my YouTube page. But I want to bring her in right now. I've known, let's see, Meagan. Meagan,
Hello.
There you are. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm still alive.
You're still, girl, I am still alive. That makes me very happy.
You're still alive.
I'm still
glad
alive.
You're still here. Yes.
I am still
How
here.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. You know, I'm not fully recovered yet. You know, I'm done with Corona and all that stuff, but I'm still trying to get strong. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to build up. I feel weak at times still. I tried working out a couple days ago. I couldn't make it all the way through.
Wait, why are you trying to work out when you basically was just like on the line about to die with Corona?
You know what? That's what my wife said. But I got to push. I got to make it happen.
I understand. You got to keep going, but you got to make sure you gotta, relax a little bit.
I know. But it's like, I'm just happy to be alive. So I'm like, I want to do everything. It brings an appreciation of, man, just waking up and, having my family there.
Yes.
It's like, I want to do as much as possible, but you can't do anything right now because we're all trying to be safe, which is good, which I suggest everyone trying to do.
Yeah, I agree. Stay inside, please.
Stay inside. Stay inside. My wife, I want to start with this. We'll get to Batwoman because, of course, you're one of the stars on Batwoman. But you've known my wife for so long. How did you guys meet?
So we met, I think it was when one of our friends, Alyssa Campanella, was Miss USA. And she was going to Miss Universe, and we met at a Miss Universe party. And so with us both being a former, I was a former Miss California, she's a former Miss Wyoming, we kind of just met there. It's just like, hey, how's it going? All right, great. And we kind of just like did our own thing. And then our groups of friends started hanging out more. And from that, we basically just started hanging out. And then the rest has just been history.
Okay, so this is going to be about me, this part. So when she met me, when my wife met me, because y'all are best friends. When I tell everybody y'all are best friends, literally,
yes, that is my girl.
Yes, I see y'all talking all the time. I met Claire 6 years ago. We've been married 4 years. When she first met me, she called you and said what?
Yeah, she said, do you know who Michael Yo is? Have you heard of Michael Yo? What can you tell me about Michael Yo? And I was like, yes, I've heard of Michael Yo. Like, what's wrong with you? And I literally gave her like the whole little like explanation. And I remember sending her some pictures. I was like, remember, that was the dude on E. She was like, what? So I guess that's what Wyoming does to you. You just don't know nothing. I don't know.
Yeah. So when did you know it was serious? Pretty fast?
I knew it was serious when the girl stopped hanging out with me. I was like, where is my friend? Honestly, Michael, I was so jealous of you. I would text her and I'm just like, hey, so are we hanging out at blah, blah, blah. No response. Just so everybody knows, Claire does not respond to a text. Yeah. So for her to not do that, I was like, this Michael is coming up in here. So I finally asked her, look at you. Yeah. I asked her one day, we were actually in a taxi. I finally was able to get her to go to like the bar or something. And I was like, how are things going with Michael? Like, things seem kind of serious. And she played it very coy. She was like, yeah, it's getting serious. Like, I met his parents. I'm like, you met his parents?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you replaced me. It's okay. I'm over here just surviving. It's all good.
We can share. We can share.
We can share.
I want to go through some of the comments. That's Anya says, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
Lori says, glad you're feeling well. And then Lori also says, don't push yourself. She's taking it.
Lori agrees.
Yeah, she agrees with you. Now, if you want to get your comment in, all you got to do is leave it on the side. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can leave a comment. at any time. If you have any questions about Batwoman, Megan's on that
Oh
CW
gosh.
hit. You can ask.
CW show.
Yeah. So how are you? Because I know, have y'all finished all your episodes for this season?
No.
Really? Tell me about that.
So we only, well, not only, I mean, it's a lot of episodes on a CW show. We get 22 episodes, and you literally have to relocate to Canada and you're just up there. So we got to episode 20, and right when we're filming episode 20, we get the phone call, you're done. There's a pandemic outside. Go home. And I'm just like, I was really upset because I had just started filming my stuff, and one of my biggest days of filming was supposed to be that following Monday. So basically, I don't even know if I'm in this finale because I only filmed like one scene. So I'm a little bitter. But yeah, we made it to about episode 20 of 22.
Okay,
But
so y'all plan to go back. I don't want to get into plans because nobody really knows, but y'all have to shoot
yeah.
two more, and then are y'all done, or are they going to roll y'all into the next year since you're up there?
Well, that is the question that we are
Okay.
all wondering, because a lot of the shows, like nobody was able to finish. So we've been wondering, like, are we going back to just do those two and then, or they might just tack them on to the next season? We really don't know. We're over here just sitting and waiting.
Okay, so my wife just left a comment. She says, "I love Sophie."
Sophie.
It's
She,
Sophie.
yeah, she puts Sophia all the time. I'm like,
See, my
Claire,
wife just messed up. She's your
yes,
best friend, and
I
she
know.
calling you Sophia. It's
She's
Sophie,
fired.
baby. It's
And it's funny,
Sophie.
she's been doing that for a while. Like even when I do the Instagram takeovers, she puts Sophia. I'm like, the girl's name is Sophie, but it's it's all right.
Okay. One thing I saw a couple of episodes of the show. One thing I noticed is you know how to fight now. When did this all happen?
Now I
Yeah.
always could fight. What's wrong with you? But I will say I'm
What's
able to now flip somebody. I have never been able to drop kick someone, flip them over, beat their ass. Now I'm able to do that thanks to the stunt team up in Canada. So, they give us a really good course in like Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, all of that stuff. And I got to learn that last like March. So
okay?
now I can kick your ass.
I know
But
you
I'm
can
not,
kick my.
but I won't do it because you just survived Corona.
That's right. I'm weak right now, Megan. I'm weak.
Yeah,
I'm weak.
which means
Yeah,
you're an easy target, but
I
I'll
am.
leave you alone.
Sophie would just crush me right now.
Yes, Sophie would, not Sophia.
Oh, wait a minute. That's my wife says that's my nice name for Sophie.
Okay, well, she can honestly, she can call me whatever she wants. So we'll
Oh,
we'll we'll stick with Sophia.
okay, Megan Tandy. I hope you're in the finale.
Man, I hope I am too. I know. Well, no, I'm in it. It just might be a line or two, but I'll be there.
Oh, my
So
wife wrote something else. My wife won't leave us alone. Nick, what does that mean?
Nick,
I don't know. She's just typing something.
I don't
Oh, nickname.
Nick.
See,
Oh,
this is my
okay. Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it.
my
Okay.
wife is all over the place right now. She's watching this. She's having fun.
She's honestly been the greatest supporter. I love her so much.
So it says Megan Tandy. I hope you're in the finale. Is there a chance you won't be?
No, I'm definitely in the finale. I'm just not in it as much as I was supposed to be because we couldn't even film literally a whole day's worth of work that was just me and my character. Like everybody else got to do the majority of their stuff, but there was like a day. I got a day of filming. I was so excited. And we couldn't even do it. They were like, the pandemic came and you're done. And I was like, well, not in the finale, but here I am.
Okay, so here's what's interesting is I've seen your journey because I've like for the last 6 years when I met Claire, I've
Yeah.
seen some high highs where you were always the person that was about to get the role. You're like, I came in number 2. Every time
Yeah.
Claire pick up the phone, Claire would say, "Oh my God, she went to this casting and it's between her and another person," and then
Yep.
the other person would get it. Other person would get it. When you were at those points when you always were number 2, how'd you keep pushing through? And did you ever want to quit?
Oh, I want to quit all the time. Even now having the job, I'm like, man, I'm done after this. I quit. This business, it's very tough.
Uh huh.
And I will say, having a very, very strong support system, with wonderful friends like Claire, my family, like that does help to keep me going, because I mean, there's only so much rejection that one can take. And not only just getting rejection, but when you're like number two and number three and they're about to choose you, and it's like, and then the reasons why they would not, it would just be, and I'm saying this in like a humble way. I'm not trying to, but
Yeah.
it would be things like, oh, you're too pretty. I've heard things like, you're not black enough, or you're too tall, you're too old, you're too young looking. It would be all these like crazy things. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. So then here comes Batwoman. I booked it and I'm like, well, I guess I'm still in this.
Yeah,
So
you are. And it's
yeah.
interesting because yes, you're very humble, but it's interesting for people not in the industry. It's a bunch of no's, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
a bunch of no's from, it seems like they will find something to say. Like, well, I
Oh
could
yeah.
honestly say, well, you're too pretty, so it doesn't look like you could fight. So we can't cast you
Hmm.
as this, or you're this. So I totally understand. I got told I'm not black enough too. You
Really? I
know,
was gonna say, what have they said to you? Like stuff
Oh
like
no, I
that?
went in for a casting. Big black producer, probably one of the biggest black producers out there.
Okay.
And he goes, "Man, I got to be honest with you. Your audition was awesome, but you're just not black
Mhm.
enough."
Yeah. See, that's how it goes.
He goes,
It's
"I love
like,
you, yo, but you're just not black enough for
yeah.
this part." And I was like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah.
And I think
See,
it's just honestly, it was all about the skin tone on that, or my
yeah, for
mannerisms
sure.
isn't urban enough. And I hate to even put
Yeah,
urban
that's
on
what
it,
it, I
but I
know.
have no
It's
urban swag. You know what I mean?
You're me neither, apparently. So no, I
I
feel you. And that's the part that was so stressful though, because I was getting stuff like that too. Like, you were the best of the day, you were the blah blah blah. And but it's based off of something else. Like, if it's not gonna be based upon my talent, then why am I doing this? That's
hmm
what I had to like wrestle with. I was like, well, it's not about talent. And now it's going to followers, how many followers you have, who you know. And it's like, you know what, honey? It's just added a whole different element that I
What do
just didn't
you
sign up for.
what do you think about that? Because I've actually seen and heard of jobs getting booked because they have a big Instagram following, and that doesn't necessarily look. I don't want to disrespect anyone with big Instagram followers, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean you
It
have
don't mean
talent.
nothing.
Because I know I no no no. Some of them do have
It's
talent.
true. It's so true.
I've seen people with 5 million people that all they do is show their butt. You know what I mean? Is that
Exactly.
talent?
I know. And here's the thing: a lot of these studios, they're betting on them to be able to bring in a certain number based off of that number that's on Instagram, and it just don't do nothing, and they don't have the talent to match up with it. So it's just a lose lose. But yeah.
I'll tell you an interesting story. My friend is a huge in the movie business, kind of one of
Hmm.
the top people at a big movie studio. And you remember all the movies they used to use influencers to promote movies? Like, oh, we're watching such and such.
Yes.
Well, after a lot of research, they found out that not in the movie, just promoting the movie, right? They found out that, there's only a certain audience that, like, if you're an influencer, you can influence.
Yeah,
And it's not
for
movies.
sure.
It's not people
Right.
going to the but makeup,
Hmm.
clothes, like
Definitely
different
clothes,
things.
some hair stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but like movies, nah, nobody. Why would I
It
go
wasn't doing anything.
if I was a fan of yours on Instagram for your 6-second videos? Like, why would
Hmm.
I go see you? Why would I go see you in a movie? I can just watch you on my Instagram. That's where I
That's
like you
true.
from. I don't know.
Right. I
David
know. I agree.
says, Megan Tandy, you have my vote. You are not done. It's just the
Oh,
beginning.
thanks, David. I like that. My friends just said the same thing for my birthday last week. And I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm just beginning. But when you've been in this for so long, like Michael, you've been doing this for a while. I was a fan, Claire, I don't know what she was doing, but I know that you've been at this for so long. So have you ever felt that you were just beginning, or that you were truly at your peak, or that you were done? Like, how,
No,
how have you felt?
I've
See,
never
it's
felt
it's it's a
that.
constant,
I
yeah.
never felt I was at my peak. I felt like I was very comfortable and like for instance, I can interview anyone. I've interviewed Barack Obama. I've interviewed Madonna.
So cool.
Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, everybody. I've interviewed
Mm,
every big celebrity you can interview. I'm comfortable interviewing people. So that kind of thing, and I got that confidence probably like 5, 6 years ago. I was like, okay, I'm good. Whoever you put in front of me, I can interview. and I can
Yeah.
go for however amount of time. Now it's kind of like I'm comfortable with that. I can put that behind me, put that in my tool belt saying,
Hmm.
okay, if I ever need to work in entertainment again, or if a show ever needs someone to
Yeah,
interview somebody, I got that. It's kind
for
of like
sure.
now, I'm moving into something new, acting and just straight up stand up comedy,
Yeah.
and which is the
Yeah.
worst timing when we're having a pandemic.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say.
I also feel that since I did interview people and I've been on the radio all my life, I've learned a lot from that to bring me into acting, and my
For
stand up
sure.
is taking off. So I'm very excited about that. So once we get past this pandemic, I'm very excited to jump into that. So that's what keeps me
Good.
excited. But if you feel like you got it, you lose hunger, you
Yeah, that's
know?
true. Yeah, that's so true. Like you don't fight as hard for it because you're like, oh, okay, I've made it, I'm done. But it's like that's the thing with this business, and I tell people this all the time. Like you're never really there. You're never really done.
No.
Even people now, who was it that got the Catwoman role like a few years ago? Anne Hathaway. She still had to audition for that, but she was already like from all these other movies. So it's like you're never done auditioning. You're never done pursuing the job. You're always on that grind.
Well, I mean,
So.
look at Chris Pratt. Before he got huge, he's
Hmm.
now in all these Marvel films,
Yep.
but the guy that ran the show didn't think he fit for it. And this was Chris Pratt.
Oh,
I
see,
mean, it
wow.
wasn't Chris Pratt today.
Right. It was a
It was
different,
more of the
yeah,
office Chris Pratt, but
for
still
sure.
like Anne Hathaway probably, and I'm just making this up, but I imagine they made her audition because they couldn't see her
Yeah,
as
that's
Catwoman,
true.
you know?
Right.
So to me, this industry, if you're going to be in it, it's all about no's, it's all about rejection,
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
just about those few yeses you get because you
So
need to
true.
make the most of those yeses.
Yeah, and I also I say to people that literally your job as an actor is to audition. Once you understand that, you'll be way more at ease. Getting the job and actually like working, you got the trailer, that's just the bonus. But your job is to audition, and it's an on-call job. So you can just be sitting here doing absolutely nothing, and then they call you up and they're like, "Hey, you got an audition tomorrow. You got to get up and get your butt to that audition." So it's just you have to be willing to go along with just the grind of acting. Otherwise, it can beat you down, just like it was kind of doing to me there for a little bit.
Okay, I want a Megan Tandy secret. Give me, for all the new actors that are going to watch this breaking in, like, is there, like, when you first get
Hmm.
a script, because you're great at memorization, and I don't want to give
Yeah,
away
it's
any
getting
of
a little
your
foggy.
secrets. I don't want to give away your secret, but like when you first get a script, what is a piece of advice you could give someone trying to learn that script in overnight?
Well, so basically, you're going to get the sides and then they'll give you the script.
Yes.
So I always tell people if you can, because some people they'll just go straight to the sides and like, all right, let me just start memorizing my lines. No, you need to start reading the script first because if you read the script, that's actually going to help inform what you have to actually go out and perform. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So
totally.
if I have the script like and it kind of sucks because sometimes like especially during pilot season you've got like five different auditions you're like man what do I do if you don't read the script, you have no idea what's going on. And that actually helps you to memorize. So, for me specifically, if I don't understand the context of the scene, if I don't know why I said what I'm saying, if I don't understand why he or she's coming at me that way, I can't memorize it because at that point you're just acting. You're not supposed to just act it like you need to feel it. Otherwise, how are you supposed to memorize?
Yeah. So
So,
what happens, because a lot of times they won't send the script either. So what do
I
you do
know.
then? Because I've
Yeah,
gotten
if
auditions that are 4 pages. No, we're not
I
sending
know.
the script.
I know it's all a
Go.
secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they basically just give you the sides, which is usually, the situation, all you can really do is just try to create a life for your character. So if you go straight into it, like, all right, I'm just going to memorize these lines, you can do that, but you're not going to be able to give a good deep performance because it's going to just all be surface level. In order for you to really go deep with it, you got to create a life for that character. If you're not doing that, your performance is going to
So
flop.
giving a life for the character, because I heard a bunch of writers talking about this on Variety. It's
Mhm.
like, do you go back to what their family life was? Do you take it all the way back there when you get a script without
Yeah,
it?
sometimes it kind of depends on
How
how
far
much
does it go
time I've
back for
got.
you?
Well, I will only take it back as far as the script allows. So if it says, you know, Sophia. Sophia has a past of like if it's like Sophia has a past of hanging out in Wyoming and she doesn't know anything about this and that and the other, and but she met Michael at the age of 10. Well, you got to go and visualize that. So I'm going to start at age 10. Well, what would it have been like? This girl in Wyoming whose name is Sophia just meets Michael at 10. What is that going to be like? You have to kind of just use a lot of imagination. Some people don't want to do that, but imagination, it really does help. So just take it
So
back as far as you need to.
so how long is that process for you? Like you get a script today, you got to go in tomorrow. I know that's a short amount of time. Sometimes you get
Yeah, that
two
ain't no
days.
time.
But like how long does that process for you take the character building before you actually start memorizing the lines or feeling the lines or whatever you do with the lines, you know?
I say this in a humble way. Now that I've really exercised that muscle, I'm actually able to do that within, I'm going to just say like 15, 20 minutes
Okay.
because what I'm doing now is, I'll take the script, read all of the sides through, then I'll kind of create a little life, think about it for a second, and as I'm learning it, I'm imagining. So does that make sense? Like I'm
Yes.
imagining at the very same time that I'm memorizing it, which helps to create the picture in my head. So then I'm able to just kind of just get it like that. But
How much
it takes some time.
how much better are you acting now than you were before you started the show?
Oh, just the show.
Yeah.
Oh, I would definitely say my acting skill has elevated because especially with my role as Sophie, like she's just this very deep, very complicated character and I can't just like show up with this surface level type of acting. Like I really have had to go deep and really understand her struggle and because of that, it really has informed my acting. Now, if I'm getting self tapes and stuff, now I know it's like you got to go deep. Otherwise, your performance is just going to suck. So it has helped me because I didn't used to always want to go deep. Because honestly, Michael, not everybody's got time to do that
Yeah.
when you got 10 auditions. So I wouldn't always do it. But this job, you kind of have to. So it's
Okay.
definitely helped me.
Now, before the pandemic, like when people get their first, starring role or a major role, that kind of changed the game for them. Has this show changed the game for you at all yet? Are you seeing, I know there's a pandemic. Are you seeing that yet? Or since you're locked into a show, you really can't benefit from it till the show is done or till the contracts are all done?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably like the wrong person to ask for this because, I've got so it's so cute. My friends were just telling me that they think I'm at some level that I'm not going to say because I can't even like I'm like
Yeah.
what? Um, I've I don't know. I think just because I've been doing this for so long, I'm just very humble with it. It's like so in other words, like to answer your question, like maybe to some, I'm kind of making it like the fact that I get to go and do this and I'm getting this kind of offer, that's making it. But for me, I'm like, this is just a part of the job. I'm just doing my thing and all this other stuff is that bonus that I was talking about. It's the people that allow these little things to kind of affect them. And now it's like, oh, I've made it and they get comfortable, like you said, then they stop being hungry for it. So for me, I'm doing exactly what I was doing 5 years ago. I'm just give me my script. I'm auditioning. Here's an interview. I'm on the Michael Yo show. Like I'm
What?
just no, literally, it's like I'm treating everything as if it was just 5 years ago. So you have to ask Claire. I feel like Claire would probably give
Claire
you a
would
different
know.
answer. Yeah, Claire
Well,
would know.
Well, what's interesting is, my wife always says to me, because there's certain things in Hollywood you have to do. I feel, well, you don't have to do it, but
Yeah.
it helps out. Like my wife is like, oh, you need to network more if you want to like, so, you know, and I'm not a big
Yeah.
networker. I have my group of friends
Me neither.
because I believe if you're talented, it will stand out. But then you see shows like American Idol where it's like, oh no, these kids wanted to make it, but Kelly
For
Clarkson, Carrie
sure.
Underwood, they had talent. They just needed to be on the right thing. What's
Right.
your like? I think my biggest regret is when I first got here, I didn't network as hard as I should have. Do you have a
Yeah.
regret? Like if you could go back and change one thing about your career, what would it have been?
Oh, that is so good. That is such a good question. I can't even, dang, I don't think anyone's ever asked me that before. If I could go back and change anything, well, actually, I don't know if this speaks directly to networking, but if I could go back because I started acting at the age of 7. I got my first agent at the age of 10, and then they went out of business 2 weeks later, and I got depressed and said,
Oh
forget
no.
acting. So if I could go back to then, I wish I would have continued acting and continued to pursue it. But as far as like networking and stuff, oh boy, I don't know. I don't want to say that like everything's worked out perfectly, but I feel like the team that I've surrounded myself with, they've just done a really good job at making sure that I'm, going in for the right jobs. Like there might have been one or two opportunities that, if I could go back, I might have turned it down at the moment. And once I saw who they casted, I'm like, hey, maybe I should have auditioned for that. But other than that, I don't know.
Well, okay. Can you talk
I
about
really
a
don't
big
know.
show that you didn't audition for that you regretted? If you don't want
I
to, that's fine.
mean, oh, there's too many of those.
Oh, really?
But it's not
And it
that
doesn't mean
many.
it doesn't mean you would have got it. I'm just
Yeah, I'm
saying,
gonna
was
say it
it?
doesn't mean I would have got it.
But there's so because a person like you've been in the game so long, you get a lot of auditions, and you kind of have to prioritize. Look, if I got 10
Yeah,
auditions this week, these are the 6 or 5 I'm really gonna try to
for sure.
crush, and I don't think these are gonna be like. Has that ever happened where the audition you didn't
Oh,
go?
oh, absolutely. Like, especially so sometimes I'll get, it's funny. A lot of people be like, oh, of course you did. But I would get a lot of roles that originally wanted a white girl. They'll be like, white girl, blonde, pretty, beauty queen, whatever. And then they couldn't find their white girl. So they're like, all right, we'll start opening up, it's open ethnicity now. There were times that I would pass on those because it was just kind of like, they originally wanted a white woman, and sometimes they ended up going with a white woman. There was a few times that I've changed their minds, like on Jane by Design, which was my very, very first series. They originally wanted Lulu Pope to be some like debutante, like white girl, whatever. And I came in there, with my black ass self, and they were like, oh, she's white, black enough. But yeah, sometimes I have to look at some auditions and like it depends. And that happens a lot. Like if they want white girl or Latina, I have to really ask myself, like, what is the likelihood that they're going to actually cast a black woman? If it's not really that likely, I'm probably not going to go in.
So because I have to concentrate on these other scripts, spend your
Exactly.
time on
Right.
those.
I have to go towards the ones where I actually like fit the description, one where they're actually looking and searching for me. But then you've got my manager that'll come in and say, hey, they gave you the audition, which means they are looking for you. But then,
Okay,
actors, we
that's
have this.
That's another question I want to ask you because,
What?
I'm new in the acting game. I just started like a year and a half ago. But one
Welcome.
thing, welcome. But one thing I do notice is, I got that question too. Like, okay, this doesn't fit me. Well, they asked you to come in, but then you get there and it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like when they ask you to come in, the agents will say that's a win if they ask you to come in because a lot of people don't get asked to come in.
Well, that's actually very true. That's
Is it
very
true?
true. Yeah, no, it is. But I think it also kind of depends on where you're at in your career.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this in a nice way. I have to always preface it that way because I don't want people thinking like, oh, is she out there thinking that she made it?
And
But
we're talking more industry right now, so that's why like
yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to know the real truth.
for
So
sure.
look, it's all humble, it's all love for anyone
Yeah.
watching or listening. It's all but I just want to get the real facts here.
Well, and so what happens is when you make it to a certain level, like, so I've been in this for a long time, you start going into specific rooms where they're only looking at you and 5 other girls, or they actually start requesting you. So the team doesn't even have to try to pitch. They're like, hey, we want Meagan Tandy to come into this. So you'll get opportunities like that. And so there's this thing with certain actors where it's like, especially as minorities, we have to look at the fact that like, are they bringing us in so that they can say, oh, we looked at all ethnicities, but we went with the white woman. Like that is a thing. It
Mm-hmm.
is a thing because they can get in trouble for not seeing all ethnicities. So I have to sometimes, mind you, I don't always know, but sometimes you have to gauge like, am I being brought in just to, fulfill that quota so that they can say that they saw black women, or am I actually being brought in because they want to see me? But that's only when you get to a certain like
Yeah.
level.
I
Otherwise, you're
reached
right.
that.
And
See,
auditions are in.
I know what you're talking about because I reached that level in hosting where even to this day, I don't go in unless I'm top 3. Like literally, it's the finals. They went through everybody
For
and they go,
sure.
"Okay, yo, it's your time to audition for this role." But it took me a long time to build up to that because
Yeah,
people know you can
absolutely.
host. It's like
Right.
they know
Don't
you can
waste your
act.
time.
Yeah, don't waste
Yeah,
your time. So I want to
I
put
know.
this up. Let's see. Kimberly Brown says, "Glad to see you on the MYO show. I've never seen Batwoman, and now I'm going to check it out. Do you ever give input to the writers on the show?"
Well, first of all, Kimberly, if you're going to be tuning in now, I don't even know if I'm really in the finale. I might not I might not be there, girl, but go on and tune in. We come on this Sunday. And yeah, I will try to give some suggestions to the writers, but honestly, we kind of just let them do their thing
Yeah.
because I understand, like especially they're on the grind too, and they've been hired to
Hmm.
be able to create for us, and I definitely I defend the writers because it's like we can't come in there with too much stuff because then it's kind of like demeaning their
Yeah.
ability to
That's
write.
their job,
So
is to write. Yeah.
but if there is something specific, especially like if they're trying to mention something about especially with my character being black, if they want to talk about my hair, or if they're trying to mention something that a black woman would say, and if it ain't right in the script, I will definitely get on that email and be like, well, actually a sister would say this. And they usually take the suggestion because sometimes they don't know we
Okay.
got to get more diversity in the room. So
All right. So I'm hearing you say the finale is this Sunday.
no. So our
What?
finale is next Sunday, but we have 2 more episodes airing, and I'm barely in both of them. But
Wait a minute.
yes,
But you said you had 2 more to shoot. How does that work?
yeah. So what it is they so we were right in the middle of shooting episode 20. So instead of like just not making that an episode, they made it an episode without a lot of my work in it. So that's that's why it's still
Okay.
an episode. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So we didn't, when we were airing back in you know what is it, February, we only aired up until episode 16. So now 17, 18. Yeah, we only aired up until episode 17. So now 18, 19, and 20 are airing. That's what's
So
happening.
then those other 2 episodes, since you already did a finale, could go away, right?
What do you mean? What do you mean go away? No, no, no. We those are completed episodes. So we
Oh,
completed episode 18, completed episode
gotcha.
19, and we didn't complete episode 20, but we gonna air it anyways.
Okay.
So
We're already past 30 minutes, but what I want to ask you a couple more things getting off of
yeah,
Batwoman. Like, what are
of
you doing
course.
in quarantine? Like, how are you spending your time now?
Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. Not only am I surviving the pandemic, I am also surviving my parents who are going to be watching this. I love you. You guys, I chose to spend this pandemic at home because my parents are in their 70s and I want to help out. Um, I'm ready to go because you guys, I'll try to just sleep in because we do night shoots on the show. So when I first came here, I was sleeping in till noon. I will get a text message from downstairs saying, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "There's a pandemic outside. Where do you think I am?" And they would be like, "Oh, we haven't seen you all day." It's just 11:30 or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And so they're just constantly just like on me, but I am redoing their entire backyard. So that's been really nice. So for the
Okay.
last 2 or 3 weeks, I've hired some wonderful people that are doing great landscaping. So we spent a lot of time on that. And I've had to, do all this influencer type of stuff because all these interviews are at home now.
Yeah, they are.
So,
They are.
and I've been creating my own little content for my little Batwoman takeovers. I've got my own little Meagan Tandy takeover show, which is fun because my passion has always started behind the camera. Like I love producing, I love writing, I love directing, and so I'm actually finding myself really just picking up that habit again. And I feel like I'm probably going to be going in that direction after this job. I
Well,
can't
it's
believe I just
funny.
announced that.
It's funny. Claire started doing some social media stuff for me, making videos.
Oh, good. Is
Did
she,
you
is she your
see the
person?
video yet? She posted yesterday.
The TikTok?
The breast milk.
Yeah. How is your stomach doing right now? When
She
I saw
put
you
breast
sipping
milk.
on that,
She put breast milk in my I do this matcha latte,
that's crazy.
and then she filmed it. She thought it was so funny, and then she did
Oh
one
no, it was
today.
good. She got you good. She
So
did
she
one
got me
today?
good. She did one today because everybody's saying I look like Lionel Richie. So
You
she's playing
do.
with this ugly ass mustache. She loves it though.
Yes.
She loves this
No,
mustache.
and I just love that she's getting you so good with it. But that mustache,
Got to
it's
go.
got to go.
We did a
Claire,
poll.
I love you, but no,
Yeah, it's terrible. It's
it's
terrible.
got to go. Yeah,
Like
you
if people
definitely look
can't
like
see it.
somebody's dad.
I know. I'm like, look here, boy. Look here, boy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, boy. Let me tell you something, boy.
Yes. Hey, but maybe that's why Claire loves you so much. She's like, he looked like somebody's daddy. I don't know. Just, I think you got to get that razor though at the end of this pandemic though, for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
So
100%. Claire says mustache is a must.
no, he's gonna get rid of it, or at least a goatee. Make it a little
I'm
bit,
getting rid
get
of
your
it.
Will Smith on. Okay, all right.
If you haven't been to
Um,
my Instagram, check it out. My wife films me with Lionel Richie "Hello" playing in the background. It goes, "Hello."
I gotta see that. I didn't see that one today. That's good.
All right, Megan, thank you for checking in. I really appreciate it.
Yes. No,
And for
thank you for having me on.
yeah, we appreciate you stopping by. So everybody else, this podcast drops every Tuesday at 9 a.m. And make sure you subscribe, leave a nice comment. And if you're watching it live right now, we always drop it a couple days first on YouTube and on Facebook. So Megan, any final words of inspiration to anyone?
Man, I know it's crazy pandemic time. Everyone's kind of got their spirits low, but just do whatever you can to just keep your spirits high. If that means you got to listen to the Michael Yo show, or you got to do a backyard for your parents, do what you got to do. Or maybe you got to drink breast milk. Do what you got to do to keep your spirits up, because we're going to get through this together.
All right, Megan, love you, girl. We'll talk soon.
Love you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.